Solid start. What you can see out of day one. Excited to see the film on this afternoon's practice. A couple of the young guys jumped at us a little bit early. Good to see Rafael kick those balls this morning. That was positive, but it's all day one. Energy's good, excitement's good, what you would expect. Keep on grinding through camp. They look pretty healthy. It looks like the strength coaches did a nice job with getting them in shape and putting them out there on the field. So positive day. Some good, some bad, everything in between. But I like where the kids' mindset, which is probably the most important thing.
Gary, what's the status of Serge Treasy?
Still in the process. We should know for sure in the next couple of days. It looks like he's got himself in position, from what we understand at this point, to have everything done we've asked him to do academically. Now it's just got to go through the process of seeing where it all sits.
Is this through the school or through the NC2A that you're waiting to hear?
We just got to get final transcripts. What you see for sure and what you hear for sure. We just got to make sure it's validated. And then if we get to that point, we'll see what the timing is from there.
So you have no idea when he might be in yet?
If he's going to be here, the agreement was the very beginning when we recruited him. If he's going to be here, he's going to get here very early in camp. If not, he would use this as his redshirt year and join us in January. So that was the plan all the way through, but we're still hoping it'll be this year because obviously we'd like to have him here whether he plays or redshirts. We'd like to have him here going to school for the semester.
You mentioned it's only day one, but how impressed were you with Rafael's leg strength? First day.
You're going to make me comment on the kicker after one day. Yeah, he hit them all and he was very confident and told everybody he was going to put him through there. So it was, ball came off his leg like we thought it would, like when we recruited him, we saw on film, which is very encouraging, and it's going to be fun to watch that continue to develop. So, and the snaps were good, the holds were good. Apparently those kids worked together in the spring, during the summer. It's a little, easier said than done to get that timing down, especially with the new kicker.
He told people that he was going to?
Told me, yeah.
I was going to told you.
I challenged him today, and challenged him. Said, "Don't worry, Coach, I'll make him on." So. I like it.
I was going to say, that's pretty
It's good.
pretty
Yeah.
bold to comment.
It's better than saying, "Coach, I plan on winning this in 3 today." So I'm good about that.
Were guys encouraged to stick around or stay later? Because a lot of guys that weren't practicing ended up watching the second practice. Was that encouraged or?
No, it's on them. If they think that they can gain something out of the practice, then they can come in and watch it. They got to obviously stay in the stands and follow the rules, but they can come in and sit and watch the practice. If I was fighting for a spot, pretty good chance I'd be sitting in those stands. So especially for the team stuff, but they got lifts to do. A lot of kids are in school right now, all the way up until 3:30. So there's a mixture of where they're at. But I like the schedule. I think it's great. The reps were fantastic. The split team, and kids they're tired out there now. That last group had to challenge them a little bit the last 3 periods to answer the bell, but it's a grind for the coaches. But that's good. We can grind the coaches, and I think it's the right thing for the kids.
Are you pleased to see that sessions?
Yeah, absolutely. I think hopefully that holds up as we come through. Because that was kind of a mindset we had with the coaches, is to see how the kids react to the split sessions and are they interested in getting up at 6 in the morning if they don't have to, or they'll come sit in the sun. And today was nice out there in the afternoon. Hopefully that stays that way as we move through the rest of these practices.
What more do you know than Joe and Tanner than you did at the start of the game?
Not a bunch today. I guess I get lost a little bit with those B backers right now, trying to get those guys to absorb the scheme, and quite honestly, to get my old brain to absorb some of that scheme a little bit. And I spend a lot of time watching those guys, but I'll sit down tonight, watch the film a little bit more, and study those quarterbacks and get a report from Coach Ludwig.
How do you like getting after it with the linebackers?
What's that?
How do you like getting after it with the linebackers?
Well, I like it. It's fun. Coaching is. It's been a long time since I've been able to do that. Be in a position group and be involved with those kids on the field and some individual drills. So that's it's fun to get back into the coaching side of it, that side of the coaching, having the position and dealing with. So ask me when they play bad, I might change my opinion, but we'll see.
During the two groups generally stay the same as far as other split, or are you moving guys around?
We will switch, especially at the quarterback spot. You'll see you see the offensive line that we had in the afternoon was all young guys. That's pretty difficult against some veteran defensive players, and so the ability to move different guys, it'll be a little bit of a chess match as we go through to figure out what's best for the kids. But the quarterbacks need to rotate just in fairness for them, for their ability to be able to compete.
You mentioned a couple of young guys stood out. Was rushing one of them in the
Absolutely, yeah. It was. George made some nice catches, did some nice things, caught some contested balls, which was nice to see, and he ground through the whole practice and didn't show any signs of fading at all, which was good to see some mental toughness out of him too.
You said the other day that they were edgy. Did that translate to the field today?
I think it did. The morning group especially. This afternoon, I thought I was disappointed with some of the veterans we had in that afternoon group. They can sense it just as well as I. Now, when we challenged them a little bit, they answered, and I thought they finished well. But we got to sense that, and we got to sense that when we see ourselves fading and challenge ourselves a little bit. And we pride ourselves on that here, is finishing games in the fourth quarter, and so we can't talk about it and not practice it the right way. So, but that first group had a little edginess to them, and some kids in the second group did, but not enough.
That second group, the wide receivers were mostly young kids,
Yep.
kind of feeling their way. How tough is that on the quarterbacks?
I think it's very difficult. We'll get that again mixed and mingled as we go through. But that's what I just like what they have to fight through in those practices. Tanner didn't have the ideal environment today, and quite frankly, neither did Joel at the end of the day. But they've got to deal with what they've got to deal with, and keep fighting, get the scheme in there, and we'll keep on going. So leaving out as we go.
You've seen quarterback derbies like this before. Is it always the same thing that winds up being the separation point?
I've been in a couple of them. Really only one as a head coach. If I look on that one, I couldn't even really tell you what I felt like separated them, other than the things that I've talked about. The ability to manage, the ability to move the team, the ability of the team believing in the kid behind there. When that happened with Chucky, it was clear the kid that was behind him, Anna Kennedy, was a good player and ended up winning 6 in a row for us too. So I don't know what the final identification or the factor is, but we'll just keep going through it.
You practice almost 2 weeks straight without a day off. What's the biggest challenge in that, and what do you hope to see to get the guys through that?
Well, we talked about that last night in our first meeting, the fact that it is a grind, and I want to see how we handle that. And there's a lot of recovery time these first 4 days. It's not a traditional 25-period practice or what you may have in 2 days. They're out there for 16 periods. More reps, yes. It's tiring, but it's in a shorter period of time. So they should be pretty good after 4 days, and we move them into that first scrimmage. But I want to see how they can really react to a grinding, mental camp. I'm not going to say physically. It's just we're going to beat them up, but it'll be challenging. But I want to see how we handle that. The day after the scrimmage, it's going to be really interesting. 2 days, right after a scrimmage, it's going to be fun to see how we react on that day.
Gary, you've mentioned you'd like to get competition for the number 2 left tackle spot.
Yep.
Who might be in a position to push something?
I think I got to get with Coach Woods tonight and Coach Ludwig, and we'll try to start to figure that out. Walker's there right now. I know it's Walker's spot in the spring, and we'll see if one of those new young guys is going to come in and contend in that area. But the plan was to create competition. We'll see what they thought of those young kids, and no pads on yet, so it's kind of pretend football, especially for those linemen.
In addition to the normal aches and pains and muscle soreness, do you still have to keep an eye on the old shoulder?
Absolutely, I would listen to him. Every veteran player, I go out of my way to try to listen to them. He's one of them with his shoulder, to just let him understand that more is not better, and he knows he's in a competition. He wants to compete, but I think we're at a point now with Joe where Joe will always tell us how he feels. I think he's going to tell the truth when it comes to that. So I'm very aware of that. So is Coach Ludwig, so is Coach Simon, so is Mike Malone.
What do you expect to see from Taiwan Deal over these next few weeks? Looking for a third running back.
I would just say this: Taiwan, the last 3 periods, stepped it up. That's what I would like to see him do when we get pads on. I thought he was much more physical. He's much more comfortable. We're looking for Taiwan to be the third back, and that's no secret. Again, how he handles it mentally is going to be his biggest challenge, because he's big enough. He's got good. Does a lot of things very, very well. Now can he adapt and move into that position at this level? We'll see if his mind will allow himself to. My bet is that it will. I think we will. Caleb has done a tremendous job. After his little surgery this summer, he's done a tremendous job of progressing the last really 10 days probably. And I would suspect another. It's going to be probably 2 months, maybe 6 or 7 weeks before he does a lot. But he looks pretty good today out there moving around. It's great to see him out there.
Is the adversity that you talked about with the quarterbacks training, is that planned? Is that part of the whole process of how to explain this, a team like this, that you want to see them in those moments?
Yeah, exactly. I think you need to put them in those spots, and it's the same thing for Big Rob. When Big Rob's playing next to a guard that doesn't have a lot of experience sometimes too in practice. But at the quarterback position, he got to be able to deal with the circumstances that are his way, whether it's weather, whether it's, he's lost his star receiver, whether he doesn't have his running back, whether he doesn't have a center, whatever it is, he's got to adapt to it. And I think the more they can continue to do that, the better off they can be. We'd like it to be ideal, but that's not football. Anything else? We good?